What's up, everybody on YouTube? You guys are seeing the behind the scenes of the Smoke Ring Syndicate. We're joined today by Johnnie Mags, the Pit Life Barbecue crew. Johnny, can you hear me?
I got you, Wes. How you doing, brother?
Fantastic. So we'll hit my intro and we'll get right into it. I typically just I do this to Facebook and we'll pull audio for it this week's
Cool.
episode. What's up, guys? Wes, the People's Pitmaster, back again with another episode of the Smoke Ring Syndicate. It's my weekly barbecue podcast that drops every Wednesday at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last week, we took a break. This week, we're headed to New Hampshire to chat with Johnnie Mags, Pit Life Barbecue. Johnny, are you there?
Hey, what's up, brother? Thank you for having me. This is getting exciting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Johnnie Mags of the Pit Life Barbecue podcast. That started back in what, 18, 19?
August of 2018. Yeah, rolling
Okay.
5 years strong.
Yeah, I knew it had been a good little while, and I've catch some of your episodes, not all of them, because I switched between you and Greg, and there's a couple of really good podcasts out right now over the last year or so. So introduce yourself to my fans here that may or may not know who you are and how you got into barbecue, and we'll go through that and into creating a podcast, and we'll set it off from there.
All right. Well, I'm Johnnie Mags or John Maguire. Um, Grew up just outside of Boston, as you could probably tell.
We heard
Um,
that.
but now I'm up in central New Hampshire, in a little town of called Center Bonstead. um, but we started the show, like I said, back in 2018, and it's been rolling great since that. The opportunities it's given me, the friendships made, is a blessing. Just to sit around, talk barbecue with everybody, and what it all leads to was fantastic. But obviously New England wasn't known for barbecue,
Mhm.
down like Georgia or Kansas City, Texas, that the regional barbecue. We're more known for lobsters.
Yeah.
Lobsters and snow. But always loved grilling. It was a long time before I learned that a steak could be pink. My mom did a lot of the grilling. Honestly, I actually never have seen my father even open a grill. To be completely honest with you, but yeah, she cooked them till they were hockey pucks. So that's all I knew until I went to somewhere and went, "Ooh, what is this?"
What
I
is
don't
it?
need a yeah, I don't need all types of sauce and everything to get the piece down,
Yeah.
but yeah, always loved grilling and everything. Then when the as far as the barbecue goes, and a lot of the guys out there now kind of have the same story. I was sitting on my couch one weekend, scrolling
Hmm.
through the channels, and up pops Barbecue Pitmasters,
Yeah.
and just got enthralled with it. We're just loving the show, and then those famous last words. I can do
Hmm.
that, and went out and bought myself, what is it? It's still downstairs in the corner of the garage. A one of the old cheap Brinkman bullet smokers.
Oh yeah.
with the little tiny door where you're supposed to try to get a chimney of charcoal through.
Yeah.
Sitting there with tongs, coal by coal, feeding it. Started on that. Then a bunch of the guys, friends around, got into it, and they started a Facebook group called New England Pitmasters.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got going on that, and one of the guys, my friend Kevin, calls me up and go, "Hey, I was just at our local Walmart, and they had Oklahoma Joe Highlands
Yeah.
that I guess weren't supposed to be there. They weren't supposed to get them.
Yeah.
So they threw them on clearance for like $50.
Oh, wow.
So he had grabbed one. He called me. I ran up and grabbed one. And at that point, the rest was history on that. Had the smoker, went out, found a kettle, copper kettle on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the season, I had a Weber Performer that was on sale at Home Depot. So I was off and running, ready to go.
Yeah. Let's see. You were three girls deep. Year one then.
Oh yeah. So we did that. And I was into it and was loving it, learning the different aspects of barbecue itself, between the
Yeah.
species of wood to add the flavor, controlling your temperatures, the different cuts. then back in April of 18, April 5th, 2018, as a matter of fact, unfortunately, I lost my mother. And
Sorry.
she was the influence of my culinary cooking, all that. Just over the years, sitting there watching her do what she did in the kitchen, and just
Yeah.
kind of all soaked it up. And I was lost. And my wife, God bless her, she came out and said, "Hey, you need to do something. There's me, there's the two little kids. You need to get right." And handed me the card, the bank card, and go down to the butcher shop, get whatever you need, and you sit out here and cook until you get your head right. Because she already kind of, I guess, could see the difference of
Yeah.
when I was sitting out cooking. It was
Mm-hmm.
more of a calming, relaxing, almost
Yeah.
therapeutic event.
Absolutely.
And I went down to the butcher shop. I sat in front of my house for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't leave, and got my head straight. And at that point, I really jumped both feet into it, hot and
Yeah.
heavy. You know, looking everything up I could, books, cookbooks, Facebook pages, forums, learning everything I possibly could. And fast forward to like July of 18, one of my buddies, he had got himself like a 27-pound brisket. So
Yeah. That's a big one.
he was doing like a 24-hour cook, Friday into Saturday. And one of the guys we had ordered New England Pitmaster sweatshirts. So it was he goes, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
swing by the house. I got yours." All right. So we were all hanging around. So the adult beverages start flying, and with dudes and everything. And this is right when Facebook Live was brand new, had just come out.
Mm-hmm.
So we went live. One of the guys went live, and we're all just sitting there talking back and forth. We're based in, we don't, it's 10 o'clock at night. We literally can't find any tools. We're glazing ribs with globs of paper towel. Stupid stuff. And it went out on Facebook Live. So everybody who was tagged in it, it showed up on their feed. So I showed up to work on Monday morning, and all the guys were like, "What the hell was that?" We're like, well, I'm like, "What? The cooking and the bullshit." I'm like, "Oh, that's what we do." We sit around the pit. We're having some beers, having some whiskey, and telling lies, solving the world's problems. And he goes, "I don't get it, but it was entertaining as all hell." I'm like, okay. And I'm a mailman by trade. So I'm out on the road all day, and I used to listen to sports radio all day. At that point, there were 2 stations in Boston, and they were at each other's throats, and it was ridiculous. They weren't even talking sports anymore.
Yeah.
So I got into listening to podcasts. So I'm like, having that in the back of my head that was entertaining, I looked up a couple barbecue podcasts. And, I had found, a couple of, Greg Rempe, a couple of the others. I'm like, okay. I go, maybe we should give this a shot. So I had talked to 2 of my buddies, Mike and Chris. And they said, yeah, sure. We were talking about it before. Let's give it a shot. And August, we were up and rolling.
Yeah.
So the whole podcast came from a drunken night cooking brisket and ribs.
That's when most quality things start, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. So you've got the barbecue podcast started up, and it's you and a couple of buddies. Is everybody still involved with that, or is it kind of
no? There's been a few variations. We started. It was me, my friend Mike Masiglia, also known as Messy Mike, and our friend Chris Crawford, Crawdaddy. So the 3 of us started, and right off the bat, a month into it, life got in its way.
Yeah.
So Chris had to leave, so it was me and Mike, and we ran with that about 2 years, and then COVID hit. Now during this whole time, Mike has a Messy Mike's Barbecue and Catering company, so he was in talks of buying a trailer and kind of setting up a station, to feed the public also.
Yeah.
So COVID had hit, and he had to make the choice of he's really got to jump in, take this opportunity, and get the trailer and get that running.
Yeah.
Absolutely, completely understand. So he left to pursue that. One of our friends that I met through our New England Pitmasters page was Greg DiGiorgio, the barbecue broker. And he jumped on, became a co-host, and we ran with that for about another 2 years.
Yeah.
And he started his own catering business. And so life got in the way, and he went to pursue that. And it's and I just, at that point, I'm like, got 4 years in already. I can't just stop this. I enjoy it too much. So I've been flying it solo about the past year or so. So, like I said, I love what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you still delivering mail, or is the podcast taken over to the point where you're just doing that full time
Oh, no.
with barbecue associations?
Still doing the delivering the mail. Like I said, the podcast is up there,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing that I can walk away from the old government gig. You
Yeah.
know, believe me, I
Well,
have the countdown for the government gig when I can officially walk away. But
yeah.
but no,
I
still
kind of
running both.
yeah. I kind of figured that was going to be the case. You don't step away from uh, a government gig too easily.
Yeah,
I mean, even like Harry Sue, he worked in the IT in yeah, great job, but he also has great potential and is doing great things in barbecue now that he's retired. But I mean, when I met him, seen him here and there, on TV and stuff, but I met him in 19 out in Texas, and I mean, he probably was on the verge of being able to drop all the government stuff then. Well, I'm not sure if it's government, but it's very very similar to government if it's not. Um, but I mean, he was probably able to have dropped that then. But I mean, it's you got life, you got benefits, you got insurance, and podcasting doesn't have any of that set up in it yet.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
So walk me through in this full disclosure. You guys may want to fast forward through this section. It's going to be more entertaining for me than anybody else. Walk me through getting to the studio that you're in today. I mean, kind of your different, I guess you would say, levels of of your setup.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole funny story because you caught me at a perfect, very interesting time.
Hmm.
Um, I've always been into cigars, and my good friend David Garofalo, oh, excuse me, he um, he owns the largest cigar store in the world.
Hmm.
Two Guys Smoke Shop, got 3 locations in New Hampshire. Um, he has his own podcast, The Cigar Authority, and they're going on maybe 15 years of doing it.
Hmm.
It's the #1 cigar podcast in the world.
Yeah.
And he used to do it on the sales floor on
Hmm.
Saturday morning or Saturday noontime.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the customers would be coming in, so you'd hear the ding of the door when a customer walked in, or someone would come up
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, hey, Dave!" Right in the middle of the show. It was riot. And fast forward, the second level of the cigar store used to be a private club.
Hmm.
All the high back leather chairs, bar, TVs, domino tables, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He eventually closed that down and decided to build a podcast studio where he
Hmm.
could get away from the
The,
hustle and bustle of the store on a Saturday
yeah.
so do the show without any quote unquote distractions.
Yeah.
So he's another one when he gets an idea, he's all in.
Yeah.
And he ripped the place apart and literally built a TV studio. You
Yeah.
know, the giant desk with the monitors on the front, the light riggings. We got
Hmm.
cameras from every angle. He's got a whole separate room for just audio. So if you
Hmm.
just want to do an audio, wanted nothing to do with the video, you could
Yeah.
do it in there also. And yeah, he built himself a nice little business with it. He does about 20 different podcasts out of there a week.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, he has a full-time producer who produces all the shows. So it was really I was babied with it because I really didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, just
All I had
show
to do
up.
was show up, talk barbecue, book guests, and they took care of the rest. Which was
So,
great. Go ahead.
so now he's doing all the producing and everything. So he's doing all the editing, all the uploading, everything.
Um, the uploading, the no editing. It's
Okay.
it's all the show is at 5 o'clock
Full.
on 5 o'clock Eastern every Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and it's live. So it's live on
Yeah.
Facebook. So
Yeah.
and then they literally just take the audio file and upload it to iTunes, all the podcast carriers.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, there's no editing. If I start it's gonna be on there. You know,
Or if you got me doing this, messing with
yeah,
my headphones, you're gonna hear that too.
yeah, it'll be on there, which I like. It's
Yeah.
I like all. If you're into editing, that's great. You want to put out the best product you can.
Yeah.
I like the live aspect of it because we've all
Mm-hmm.
been there and ooh, shoot, drop something and you hear it hit, and I just like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, the funny aspect of this, you caught me at the right time. This Tuesday is actually my last show at the studio.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's bunch of, like I said, once again, life has jumped in, and I'm gonna be moving it to doing it from here at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we got my actually I could probably show you real quick, right behind me. All my lighting
Mm-hmm.
stuff showed up this week, and I got a soundboard coming either tomorrow or Tuesday, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be running it from here.
Okay.
And like I said, life had gotten in the way, and it kind of somewhat, I'm not going to say ran its course, because I'm so grateful for
Yeah.
the studio and everybody that has been involved over the years, to really make it, help make the show what it was. On one aspect of it, I had that very professionalism look to it, that
Mm-hmm.
whole ESPN type
Yeah.
studio setup, which was intriguing to people because, not for
This guy.
nothing, you hear, hey, this is a podcast from a bunch of guys from New England talking barbecue.
Oh, that's an oxymoron of
Wait a
barbecue.
minute, hold on here, and I got a bunch of that at the very beginning. What the hell do you guys know? And then, well, we don't have one location. We don't have one
Yeah.
style. We're like the crock. I like to call New England the crock pot of barbecue. We
Mm-hmm.
take every area and kind of twist it all together in a messed up kind of way sometimes. But yeah, we're going to be moving the podcast up to here. Still kind of working on the day because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to step on people's toes.
Yeah.
Like Greg Rempe, he's 9 o'clock Eastern. My good friend Robert Rocha from the So Smoking Goodish show, he's
Yep.
9 o'clock Eastern on Wednesdays.
Yep.
So to do that, because obviously at 5 o'clock, I'd have to drive by the studio after work.
Mm-hmm.
So it was time. So now I got to drive all the way back up here. So the timing's a thing, but that's going to free up some stuff because now I don't have a time restriction
Yeah.
because I was only slotted for an hour spot. So if I was
Mm-hmm.
having a great conversation with a guest,
Yeah.
I'd have to cut it off at 45, 50 minutes. So
Yeah.
now if the conversation goes an hour and a half, the conversation goes an
So
hour and
be
a
it.
half. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's very similar to how I run here. It's it kind of typically I get the folks go, it just sounds like there's just a couple of barbecue folks just chatting on the phone. And like if you're listening to the conversation, it may be 30 minutes, it may be an hour and 30
Yeah.
minutes. It just is there's no rhyme or reason, no set time. That's what I like about doing what we do here.
Yeah. Yeah. And, that the time frame is one thing. Then availability, if that's the right term I want to use, that's also part of it. We'll take into, for example, all the controversy and the mess going on right now with Memphis in May.
Yeah.
If my example to a couple people when I've been talking to them, I go, if that news happened on the Memphis in May at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night,
Mm-hmm.
my show's already done for the week.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it until the following Tuesday. That's if I didn't have a guest booked or anything like that. So now if something like that comes up, all I got to do is run in here or run downstairs wherever I finally set up the thing. Like we were talking, you just had to hook the cameras up, and away I go. I can do bonus content at a drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Which is, very freeing also, which is great. But yeah, like I said, I'm truly blessed to find barbecue, fall in love with cooking,
Yeah.
and all the friendships, relationships, and everything that I have come from it. It's an absolute blessing. I can literally go anywhere in the country and know somebody.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I wish I'd have dug into your location and everything a little bit sooner because I was in Foxborough earlier this year.
Oh,
Um, we went to the Luke Combs concert up there,
yeah,
coincidentally with a buddy of mine from Maine who I met through barbecue. His wife and my wife and me and him have become pretty good friends, and we decided that we wanted to see um, the concert, and they wanted to see the concert. So everything we just kind of merged it together. Wasn't quite meeting halfway with me
no,
going to Boston and Foxborough with him coming from Maine, but
yeah,
we had an excellent time. But had I known, I probably would have reached out
oh yeah.
and at least bought you a cigar.
Oh well, now so we can go
Yep,
from there for sure.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
it's been a hell of a ride.
well, and it had me just completely enthralled with your show because I'm like, this guy's got, I mean, the table, the desk, the lighting. I'm like, this must be an awesome job to do one podcast a week because there's no way you're building a studio that looks like that
I
for a
know.
hobby.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you see my makeshift here,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, man, one day I'm gonna be like old Johnny Mags, and I'll have me a studio too.
It's amazing what $100,000 can get you.
Absolutely,
You
just a
know.
small investment of
Oh,
$100,000. That's
yeah,
all.
shot in the pan. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was wild, and like I said, it really kind of gave it I don't know if you want at the beginning a false uh, confirmation of professionalism, but it just
hmm
gave me that look that made you stop
yeah,
and go, okay, then actually listen. Then some of the people I had on, it's like,
yeah,
okay, all right, this boy isn't just blowing smoke. You
yeah,
know, he knows a couple things here and there.
yeah,
But yeah, it's been a great ride, and like I said, not stopping anytime soon. just hit a little bump in the road, and got to figure out the whole setup here, and we'll be up and running. I'm trying not to miss any weeks,
Yeah.
but if I miss a week, I think it'll be that weekend of Columbus Day, possibly. But if that's the case, that's the case. It's I'm doing it for everybody. Be patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And see, for me, I dabbled in it, started dabbling in it in 19, and I think I did one episode that year. And it was more for me, it was like, something else barbecue related to do. And then about 3 years ago, I got into the car business, and free time is not exactly readily available.
Yeah.
So I picked it back up, and I was like, well, at least doing this lets me talk about barbecue and gives me an avenue, to still be in the barbecue community at least a little bit. So that's for me. That's my biggest draw with it is just gives me some barbecue content, and I get to chat to folks that are doing more in barbecue or doing something different in barbecue. So, where do you see the Pit Life Barbecue podcast going when you retire?
I'm gonna run it as long as I can. When I retire, I could do it, possibly do an episode every day.
Yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, maybe a little bit more, maybe dual episodes a week at that point. I've officially got back into the competition end of barbecue, so that's been interesting to say the least. Knocking the dust off of that.
Yeah.
Used to do a lot of the backyard stuff in the area. The breweries, things like that.
Yeah.
And, I got, actually, it was a year ago today, as a matter of fact. My wife had surprised me with a custom smoker out of Austin, Texas, at Backline Smokers. Ryan Newland was a dear friend of mine, and the two of them kind of went behind my back a little bit to surprise me. And it was a hell of a surprise for sure. So now I got the smoke up and open pit grill on a trailer. So all I got to do is hook it to the truck now, and I'm off to a comp. So we jumped in this year big time with the KCBS Masters Series. And, doing all right, still getting used to trying to figure out what these judges want, man. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, I don't know.
Sometimes if you just don't know, just go raspberry chipotle.
Blues hog, baby. Blues hog. Oh, absolutely. You can't go wrong with that. And I've been trying to get a couple calls, but everybody, because obviously the Royal is going down this weekend as we're recording this. And I saw a post yesterday that the Blues Hog guys came out with a finishing sauce.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
Yeah.
Just at the Royal. I'm like, come on, guys, answer the phone. Go get me a bottle or two.
Yeah, and as I understand it, it's a re-release of what he had originally had released.
Yeah.
I saw, I want to say it was Rub Bagby had the original jar, like the hand labeled,
wow.
that he had posted on Facebook. I was just kind of scrolling through it quickly this morning, and I'm almost 100% sure that's what I saw. But it was a very like rudimentary almost label in comparison to what they're doing now. Um, but yeah, I would definitely like to get my hands on a jar of that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were saying it was just a special run just for the
Hmm.
Royal
Yep.
on Bill Arnold being inducted
Yep.
through the legacy aspect of the
Yeah.
Barbecue Hall of Fame. So that was cool.
And
But
that's a whole nother conversation. That's a couple of years late in my opinion.
oh, absolutely. Everybody, you know, even when I was first getting into it, everyone's like, oh, the sauce is, Blues Hog, Blues Hog, Blues Hog,
Hmm.
you know, because I would go back to the different shows of, uh, Barbecue Pitmasters,
Hmm.
Smoked, all of those. And if you go back to one of the early ones when Big Mo,
Hmm.
so it was Mo, Myron, Tuffy, I want to say Michael Character,
Hmm.
and fifth that it escapes me. But they just followed the five of them to
Yeah.
each contest every week. And this is when Mo was still cooking on the eggs.
Yeah.
So this was a while back, and they showed him prepping a box, and they didn't quite turn the bottle far enough.
Yep.
And you could see the blue label, the blue trim. So obviously it's in a small mason jar. You know what it is. But the
Yeah.
little blue label on the side gave it away that, okay, he's using Blues Hog or in a
Yeah.
mix of, a mix of them. But yeah, I agree. He should have been in a long time ago because everyone on the circuit's using it in
Yeah.
one way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And yeah, in most cases, them Cosmos. I really hope it's not a legacy issue because I mean, obviously, that's a long ways away with him as young as he is, but Um, I mean, he's done amazing things with
Mm-hmm.
barbecue and flavors and the rubs and everything else. And I don't know if you sat down to chat with him, but my
Yeah.
lord, his story is I could sit and listen to him chat
Oh,
for like 4 hours.
all day.
So, all right, man. Well, we'll kind of wrap it up here. I'll let you go ahead and hit your socials where they can find the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast.
All right. On Facebook and YouTube, it's shoot. Yes. Facebook is Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. That's where I put the show up every week. You can catch it there live or it's always there. YouTube is Pit Life BBQ. Um, Instagram, Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Twitter or X now, whatever the hell they want to call it. Pit Life BBQ1 because they make you put a damn number in it. Yeah, that's pretty much all the socials.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, just keep keep a lookout for that for the time changes that'll be coming for if you'd like to catch it live.
Yeah.
I'll be ironing, like I said, I'm just ironing a couple other things out to
Hmm.
get that ready.
Yeah. Well, and just let me know if you want to go rudimentary. I'm your guy. I can help you there.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate your time. We will cut the live feed now. Thanks everybody for watching live.
Thanks, Wes. Thanks, everybody.